Hey guys, so today I have something a bit new to share with you. Today is going to be the first installment of my new Faves and Lames series. So just like every other hits and miss series, I'm just going to be telling you the products that I liked this month and the products that I didn't like this month. And I chose a cheesy name just to be unique, you know. So let's just get on started. My first fave this month is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in shade Precious Petals. What I like about this is that it's really buttery to the touch, and in my opinion, it gives you high-end payoff. It's super pigmented, and it's pretty reflective. I feel like this gives you both, like, the best of both worlds. It gives you the super blinding, like, glow, or if you go in with a really light hand, it can really give you that nice glow from within because it's such a pinky neutral shade. My only dislike about this is the fact that I'm super pale, so you can actually see this on my skin, so you can definitely see there's a color difference between my skin, my blush, and my highlight. But other than that, this thing is perfect. It's super cheap. I would highly recommend this if you don't have the money to go out and buy a $20 highlight, because I think this was like $6. Just going right down the list, my next favorite product this month was the Nip and Fab Exfoliate Glycolic Fix Serum. Now this is, on the back it says it's a highly effective serum with powerful glycolic acid to improve skin texture, smooth the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles, pore away visibly reduces the appearance of pores for a more refined, even looking complexion. What I like about this is it does what it says. I have noticed a complete difference since I started using this. My skin, it doesn't say it's supposed to clear your skin up, but my skin actually cleared up right away. And since I ran out of this sample size, I actually have started to break out again, so I really need to buy a new one. I also think it smells really good. Now this is kind of like an opinion-based thing because it smells super lemony, like a very strong citrus smell, but I like strong citrus smells, so it's a plus for me. Another thing about this, hopefully you'll be able to see it. Let me just get this to focus. Oh god, that's too much. I don't want to use that right now. It's very goopy, it's very thick. This should definitely be the last thing in your skincare routine. What this does is basically when you put it on your skin, it sits on top of your skin. It feels very heavy, so you do have to let it sink into your skin, and that usually takes about 20 minutes. So I would suggest using this as the very last thing, or doing this, let this soak into your skin, and then applying your moisturizer. Next up, I have the L'Oreal True Match Foundation in shade W1. One of the reasons why I like this is I said in a past video that I recently had to switch to the Hourglass foundation stick because that was the only color I can get that matches me. This color actually matches me pretty well, and I found it at the drugstore, so I was very happy that this exists. I used to use this brand several years back, but I don't think they had this shade. This is the shade W1, so it never really matched me before. I was always too pale for it, and the lightest was too dark, but this actually matches, and I am so happy about that. This is a lightweight, medium coverage. It's kind of buildable, kind of not. It's kind of like it depends on how you do it. I usually like my first layer, I tap it in with my sponge, and then I go over problem spots with a foundation brush. This is medium. It's not really a super full coverage foundation, but you know, it's drugstore, so beggars can't be choosers in my position. The only thing I dislike about this is that it does crease a bit around my, like, just, you know, like my face. This thing just creases a bit, and it does need to be set. It is very tacky when you put it on your face. Next up, I have the Tristique Mini Matte Lip Crayon in shade Florence Fig. I actually got this in an Ipsy bag several months ago, but I haven't really touched it. Personally, I just think this is the perfect pink nude color. Whenever I put on my foundation, I always tap it over my lips so I can kind of like blend it that way. So this really adds a nice natural lip color back. It's the perfect travel size. It is super lightweight. The only thing is it doesn't dry down, so if you're drinking or eating, it will come off. But the good thing about this is I like the color. It's such a nice lip pink color that you can't really tell when it goes away. I am wearing this right now. Hopefully it hasn't gone away yet, but I will swatch it on my hand for you just to show you. That right there is the Wet n Wild highlight and the Florence Fig lip crayon. Alright, moving on to my final fave of this month. This is the Mikasa Brushes S100 Lemon Drop Sponge. What I like about this sponge is it's super squishy, whether it's damp or dry. I like the shape of it. It's got this nice pointed shape that I can go really in my eye crease with. Real Techniques has a shape similar like this, but this is more thin, and the Real Techniques one, not only is it a thicker pointed top, but it's also a thicker sponge. And while that sponge does expand and get soft, the Real Techniques sponge wet is this sponge dry, and I really like a soft, blendable, fluffy sponge. So I really, really love this. If you want to try it out, I do have a discount code to get this sponge, and I will put it in my description below as well as somewhere else on the screen. Now, before we move on to my lames for this month, I'm going to put out that generic disclaimer. I don't dislike these brands. It's not that these products are bad, it's just they didn't work for me. If they work for you, continue on using them. That's great. I'm glad they work for you, but every person is different. So while these products did not work for me, they might work for you, and that's not a bad thing. They just did not work for me, and that's why they are my lames of this month, because I don't hate them, I'm just disappointed in them. This is the Hikari Cream Eyeshadow in shade Latte. I got this from an Ipsy bag, and I was so excited because look at this color, alright? Look at this. We all know I love my neutral brownie shades, and I love glitter, and this is very shimmery. This reminds me of a penny, and I was so excited for this. And what's so disappointing about it is this. Alright, when you swatch it, it doesn't feel like a cream, it just feels like a really nice pressed pigment. It's super pigmented on the finger, and then when you go to swatch it, it's very pigmented on the hand. The only thing is, when you apply it to your face, all of this goes away. I have tried applying it with my fingers, with a brush, with a wet brush, with a wet eye. I have tried every which way you can try and apply an eye pigment, and it's always patchy. It never ever shows up like this. It's a dulled down brown that you can clearly see my skin through, and no matter how many times I try to layer over it, the layers just build up on top of each other and they don't cover the patches. So I was super disappointed with this because I was very excited for the color because it swatched so beautifully. It didn't work out for me. I did get this in an Ipsy bag, so I'm glad I didn't spend money on it because I would have been so mad. Next, I have something else that came in an Ipsy box, and this is the Hey Honey Serum. This is a Good Morning Honey Silk Facial Serum. It's all day nourishing for all skin types. This says, apply daily by itself or under your day or night cream. Excellent when used under makeup, providing a smooth and glossy appearance to your skin. Now, unlike the Nip and Tuck serum, this one is very liquidy. It's very oily. You can see it shine on my hand right now. It smells. It's got a very light smell. It doesn't really, it's not offensive. The only thing is, I was a little skeptical when I read the for all skin types, because skin isn't really a one size fits all type of thing. As we know, I have very oily skin, and this is a very oily kind of moisturizer. So I woke up, when I was using this, when I was trying this out, I would wake up in the morning with super oily skin, more oily than I usually wake up with, and it actually made me break out. So if you have very oily skin, or even sensitive skin for that matter, I would not suggest this. However, if you have very dry skin, I would suggest this because it would probably work very well for you. Moving on to the last thing. This is also the most expensive thing in the video. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer in shade L1. What I don't like about this product is it's very thick. It's almost cakey no matter what I do with it, no matter how much or how little I use. It needs to be set multiple times throughout the day. If a product is this thick, I really don't think the oils on my skin should be able to penetrate it that easily, because the foundation I'm wearing, and I usually wear, is a lightweight foundation, and I don't oil through that, but apparently I oil through this super thick concealer. Not only is it cakey, but it also creases very easily, and it's so thick it doesn't even cover my dark circles. You'd think a product this thick would have the fullest of coverage, but my dark purple circles still show through this. So that's just one thing. This shade is shade L1. It is the lightest shade before white. Now, the thing is about this, I was also disappointed in the color because, as we all know, I am super fair skin toned, so finding concealers that actually work for me doesn't really happen often. It's like fighting tooth and nail to try and find a shade that matches. The only problem with this is that while it's a nice light color, I have warm undertones and this concealer has cool undertones. Now, Michelle, why don't you just go up to shade L2? Well, because that shade's too dark for me, so the whole Lock-It concealer line just, I guess, isn't for me. You will, however, see me continue to use this until it's all empty because this was like a $23 or $24 concealer, and I'm not working full time. I don't get concealer sent to me on a daily basis, so if I spent the money on it, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna suffer through it. That's just how it's gonna be. So if you have any concealers that, you would like to recommend, I'm open to suggestions. So that's the video, super quick today, I know. So let me know if we had any of the same faves, if we had any of the same lames. Let me know what your favorite products were this month down in the comments below. If you want to see more of these videos, again, just let me know. Be sure to follow me on Twitter and Tumblr, add me on Instagram and Snapchat, and be sure to check out my last video and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.